Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast.
I was busy on the beach, like I was on Survivor.
I don't believe anything you say on Survivor. I almost called it.
It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I do love you, but
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
Hello, Survivor Stockwatch Nation. I got some bad news. I was wrong. It's never good to start a podcast with "I was wrong." You ever like to jump into a podcast and immediately, you're getting told, "Hey, the trustworthy people that you thought you could trust, we got it wrong." Was Steven the dark horse? Is Sophie the new Mitch? Is she the new Laurel? Does Rizzo have a chance at Final Tribal Council? Is Savannah the real winner all along? Is Christina going to have a comeback arc and win the last challenge? I'm nervous too, Gemini. It was a rough episode for Sophie B. But hello, welcome back. This is the penultimate episode, Survivor Stockwatch. With me, it's the kind and courteous Josh. Now, Josh, aren't you going to Bryson Wendell Presents next week?
Still don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I do not have a ticket as of right now. I don't know.
I also don't have
more,
a ticket.
That's more of like a game time decision for me. Like, I need to make a decision the day of if I'm up to go to the city.
All right. Well, I might, if I have another ticket, because I might buy 2 tickets.
Oh,
There's a small chance I might have a spare. Stay in touch.
all right.
But
well,
Josh, how was the episode for you? Did you like the episode? Was it a good episode?
I thought it was pretty predictable. For me personally, I kind of predicted that Steven was going to go at the start of that episode. It's kind of hard to see anyone else that, Savannah or Rizzo or Soph would I keep saying Sophie now. It's kind of hard to see who they'd target, and Steven is definitely somebody who we've seen all season as charismatic. He's a great social player. I mean, it's hard to see how he isn't likable. And this whole reward thing, I think, gave him a lot of power. But when it came to the votes, it was really in from what I saw and what I perceived, it was down to Sage. Sage was really the one, because we knew coming into this episode, right? We got 3 numbers on one side, 3 numbers on another side. And it looks on paper that, the block of vote is going to go on one of the 3. I assumed it would be Savannah. Why not? Right. Mm-hmm. But coming in, I would assume that Sage would have been somebody who would have worked with Steven. I mean, literally, they shared information. It seemed that Steven was really trying to develop a connection with Sage, and for Sage to just cut Steven, here's why I think it's just like I don't know how to put this episode. I don't see anybody who really won this episode besides Rizzo and Savannah. Everyone else, this was like a brutal loss to their game, a brutal hit to their game, if you will. We saw Sage and Christina voting out their last opportunity of sealing a majority other than the people that they want to target, because they voted out Steven that night. It would have been a big game move to take out someone who has won 3 immunity challenges so far this season. So priority should have been on this idol bluff. I know who believes that an idol expires at 6?
Yeah.
Like, when has that ever happened?
The biggest Survivor super fans saw us in Survivor Borneo, just believing everything. That's the problem I've noticed, is that it's a problem of the minority alliance or the majority, whatever side, because I don't believe there's an underdog or overdog. One side just blindly believes everything Rizzo says.
Yeah.
And that is just because Rizzo would just say something. He just says words. He just says like, "Hey, Alex threw you under the bus," and says the most obvious lie to get people to work together when a guy has the idol and wants to save his idol, and everyone each time just goes with them and believes them.
Yeah.
I have some crackpot theories.
Okay.
I'm not feeling great about Rizzo himself, but we also have some comments.
Okay.
We got Jay. Season's a wash.
It's
fact-
been pretty straightforward, to be honest. It's been a very dominant game. It's really hard to see
Yeah.
it. Wow, you think it's worse than 48? I mean, it's tough because I think we've seen 2 seasons where there's just a group of people who are like insanely dominant, like a duo who's just dominates the game, like just completely steamrolls. We saw Joe and Eva. Now we're seeing Savannah and Rizzo. And what's crazy,
D and Austin.
I mean, like, yeah, but that's what I liked about. I mean, 46 kind of had something, but I would give 46
Charlie
a pass.
Maria.
I'd give 47 a pass too, because I feel like those winners, and especially those bigger duos, kind of had a little bit more fluidity. It wasn't just like a dominant steamroll, but like it feels like we're gonna get that for right now. But season 50 is gonna be a bloodbath.
I'm hoping for better.
We got 24 tributes. It's Survivor Hunger Games.
The
quarter quell, like 24 players,
well,
2 from each district. Let's go.
Actually, going by Hunger Game rules, there'd be 48 players instead of just.
So we're going with the most recent Hunger Games one. We're going with the double the players,
which is in the middle of the series. By the way, it's not a sequel nor a prequel. It is something just in the middle.
Okay, interesting.
That's. I think a good testament to how much we are both enjoying the season is how off topic we go when we're talking about the season in the later episodes. Like late game 47, we were on topic the entire time. I still thought, because like we were still talking about Sam and Genevieve and Rachel. And
I was talking about Teeny. I thought Teeny could pull it off. I was
Teeny was a dark horse.
Yeah.
Like the problem I have with 47, not 47, 48, 49, and even 45 to an extent is just like when you look at the board, the way we kind of view and watch Survivor, there's always a group of players that you know will never win, and you can get that list by like the final 12, where you can say like these are 6 players that will not win, they will never win, and we see that time and time again. And that was my biggest gripe with last season, where that it was one whole alliance that we knew wasn't going to win at all. And so it kind of made the whole game just a battle of we have to pick from one of 4 very similar players who all had a very similar trajectory. Because honestly, it's like Rizzo and Savannah on their own, what did they do separately? They really worked well together. It's just Savannah doesn't have her own game. Rizzo also doesn't have his own game. And that's okay. That's fine. It's just when you rank players based off win equity and winning potential, you kind of want more individuality to talk about, because it makes it more interesting. It makes it more organic to talk about. But maybe I'm just a blind hater. Who knows? And I miss 47 too, Jay. Not Josh. Sorry, Josh. But do we want to just get right into talking about Steven? I feel like
let's go.
I feel like Steven is someone who just never had a chance in the world. And Steven has a lot of exit press to talk about. I know we don't talk about it much, but it goes into a bigger topic. I think the biggest question, though, is how big of a threat was Steven. Because I feel like with this episode, we have to kind of dig behind the scenes a little bit. Because the episode itself didn't really do a good job of explaining why everyone voted the way they did. And also, like, why Sage and Christina wanted to flip on Steven. Because it didn't really make a lot of sense from our perspective. Because Steven isn't that good at challenges. No better than Savannah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like his arc, I thought that he was just kind of the last strong member of the opposing alliance. He's kind of like Camilla, you know, or kind of like Shaheen, where he's that dark horse where kind of figured he wasn't going to win. I kind of figured Steven was drawing dead. I counted Steven out back in the merge. But Steven was a very likable presence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Steven gets too much hate because I think what he actually brought and his edit in the season was very showing and not telling. And I like that a lot. You saw a lot of him just socializing with people. You saw the formation of his alliances and how they formed. And Steven had a very clear game front, center to back. I like Steven. I wouldn't be mad if Steven came back in the future. Maybe for Survivor 50. Who knows?
Yeah, Steven was a big threat in terms of social game. It's just I am still looking for what moves did Steven make. Particularly, there were instances where I saw Steven where he escaped tribal council in moments where he should have gone. Like the Savannah vote out. Like that tribe of 4, they could have easily taken out Steven and he didn't go.
Yeah.
The jury really would have if Steven was in the end, let's say he sits next to the duo, right? Steven's in the end, I think he can earn votes. I think Sage can vote for him. I think Christina, I think MC. I think Steven really could have racked up some votes, especially
I think Juwan
from the Hina members. Yeah. I'm telling you, he could do it. He's got the social game. He's got the charm, and you know what? He can tell a good story. I do feel that at that moment, that was Savannah's biggest threat. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was everyone else's biggest threat.
Yeah,
I think this is weird. I see that if Steven's in the end with Savannah, Steven can really hurt Savannah's game. But if Savannah was out of the picture and Steven was with a couple others like Shaheen and Sophie, I still see it feels hard. I don't know why. I don't know why.
And Sophie.
Yeah, no, sorry, Sophie and Rizzo.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I read Shaheen in the comments, and I think my brain got a little
a Freudian slip. We love Shaheen.
Wait, hold up. We're not talking about 48.
Don't try to get us to talk about 48.
No, we're done with 48. But yeah, no, Steven did play. He played a good game. I'm trying to run the numbers. I think people would have voted for him. I think Steven would have definitely stole more votes from Savannah. But I think now Savannah gets
because Savannah has a reputation of being a mean girl. True or not, that is her perception, and that is what people will think of Savannah on the island. And I think Steven would have had more jurors, but just didn't have that path to the end game unless he won out, which he wasn't really going to win out. You know, he was getting an under the radar winner edit before this episode. I agree. He hung on as my dark horsey, and if no one else, if it's not Savannah or Sophie, I would think Steven would have a better shot than Rizzo. Outside of just
because I think his social game trumps any of the moves that others have made. I think honestly, again, it is a social game, but I think Steven was very likable. I think he could definitely make a case that could be stronger than some people who might have a bitter jury. It's tough.
Yep.
It's really hard to figure out what we're gonna do, and especially in the jury. What would each player? What's their thoughts? What are they thinking? What would they do?
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem too. with like the late game is that we don't really people's plans. Survivor still edited to make it seem like, oh, who's getting voted out at tribal council? Is it the alliance that has all the advantages and idols, or is it Steven who has some pretty rough allies?
Yeah.
Who haven't helped Steven's game that much. We'll get to Steven's allies. And Steven didn't have a lot of blood in his hands.
He had no blood in his hands. He had
And if-
no blood in his hands.
And he would have gotten the Kenzie win. And, you know, I was champion Kenzie during 46, and I'm like, Kenzie's the GOAT, and she was beating Charlie. And then when Charlie lost, everyone's like, Charlie should have won. I was like, no. And if Steven would have won against Savannah and Rizzo, I would have said the same thing. Like, hey, you know, jury votes are king. If you're getting jury votes, then you win. You know?
I miss 46 because for me, 46 felt like the last time that I was really like, who is gonna win this? Like,
Yeah.
I was rooting for Q. And sixth place is a tough spot because some of the best players, some of my, at least my favorite players, and some of the best players go out at 6. 6 is such a tough spot.
Yeah.
6 is usually a player who either is a bigger name or a really good social player. Yeah, see, Shaheen, there's so many good players who go in 6.
Jonathan Penner?
There's Jonathan Penner. Jonathan Penner should have been on 50. Honestly, he was the one who I was really open for.
Yeah,
I love
I
Jonathan.
agree.
Him and his little fedora hat, you know, coming on.
His one-liners.
There you go, Penner. We're back.
I think Steven also said that he wanted to play a game similar to Jonathan Penner. I'm pretty sure Steven was a
I don't
big
know.
Jonathan.
He wasn't. No, Steven, your game does not even compare to Jonathan. I feel like Jonathan was a lot more aggressive, and he was kind of a villain too. Steven, you're more of a hero.
Oh yeah. Well, I was
Steven's
thinking Philippines Penner, Tasha Cagayan, Drew 45, Cody 43.
Ugh, those are some tough names.
I feel like there's way more. I think Eliza got 6th. No. It was who got 6th and Julie Berry, Jeff Probst's ex-girlfriend, also got 6th place.
There you go.
Fun fact. So if you ever go in Survivor and get sixth place, you are the same as Jeff Probst's ex-girlfriend.
There you go.
Shout out.
You heard it here first. All right. I think that's all I have to say about Steve.
I was going to say, moving right along. And Steve says he has Tyson Rupert and wanted to play like Charlie. That makes more sense.
Okay.
And
I mean,
sixth place.
Steven was very strategic. I mean, his head definitely. I mean, he definitely had some good ideas in terms of like the confessionals. Like he was talking. Like he had a really good awareness of where things were in the game. He needed better allies. He needed better allies, I think, if he wanted to go farther.
Like allies that would support his lack of strategic game. Because I think if Steven
loyalty, like don't flip on Steven.
Flipping for the sake of making a move because you want to make a move is the biggest. Just makes me roll my eyes because I get you want a resume and you want to impress the jury. But at the same time, it just means that you weren't doing anything all game and then realized, oh, crap, I need to do stuff now. Like, if I was a juror on Survivor, I'd be like, these moves did not help your game. Yeah. In fact, they hurt your game by limiting your options because now Sage has to win immunity. You know, Sage is in so much more trouble than she would have been because Christina, especially now, we know that Christina and Steven aren't tight. And so you are letting a obvious trio, much less an obvious duo, into Final 5 with an idol. you have given Rizzo control of every single vote after Nate. And maybe we can start talking about Christina now and just use this as a segue.
Okay.
And this is Christina, and I think that's all we need to really say about Christina. We can move along to Sage.
Wow.
No. We'll be nice. We'll be nice.
I do have like one or two things to say about Christina. I don't think that voting out Steven was your best move. You have no allies anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like you are alone on an island, and voting out Steven is a problem. What I'm most curious about is where are these players thinking? Like, they aren't really playing their own game. Whose move is this, voting out Steven? It's not your move, Christina. It's not yours. Yeah. You're not the one who's pushing this, nor are you going to be the one who gets credit. So why would you sacrifice your loyalty to Steven for that? Like, that's a major, major concern for me. And especially, I don't think it's a move that helps Christina. Christina needs to recognize, I need Steven to get to the end, because at that point, Christina might have just played for fourth at best. At best.
Yeah, at third.
Like, they'll take her to fire. And, I mean, we haven't seen Christina's fire-making skills. I don't think we've seen anyone's fire-making skills, really. But,
yeah,
I mean, for me, Christina, winning fire, I think that being really the only move on your resume, that doesn't really – I don't think that that's really going to qualify for winning. I think if Christina could have sided with, let's say with Steven and took out one of them, still, I mean, I've been having a hard time seeing Christina win this game. The last two votes really, really surprised me. Yeah. Christina voting out Sophie and Christina voting out Steven. They've been eating each other alive.
Again, like, it's making a move for the sake of making a move, and it doesn't make sense.
You can't make a move for the sake of making a move. You need to make a move that betters your game. And Steven is an ally. You're not going to vote out an ally, because when you get to the end, you're going to say, well, I had to make a move against Steven. I had to vote. Okay, well, three other people voted for Steven. Who was the one who put the name? It wasn't you, Christina. What I took it as is, I don't think people want to be left out of the majority. People are so afraid of saying, hey, Steven, you're my ally. I'm going to vote with you even though I know I'm going to be in the minority. People make it the narrative that if you are the person who's in the minority, that means that you're like left out of the vote. I think people fall into the narrative that if they are left out, if they're on the bottom, they're the next to go. And I think it kind of like, I think it's projection. It's players who project that energy, and then people are like, well, if they feel that way, then they are going to be the next to go, because that's easy for us, right? I guess that's our. I guess people will jump on it for $1 million, but if somebody comes out and says, hey, I voted with Steven because Steven's my ally, it's not jury management. I played with this guy all game. I've worked hard with him to get to where I am, and I mean, I need to show my loyalty, because I'm not going to let him do this alone. Like, I'm putting myself in the minority, knowing I'm in the minority, but just know that it's a testament to how loyal of a player I am, that I'm not just going to let my ally go out on a unanimous vote just because I want to be in the majority. Yeah.
And that's the best summation of, I think, too, just how Christina has been playing this game. What I will start by saying, there's a tweet she made saying that we don't see everything that goes on the island, and so a lot of the decision making, I agree. However, this is not about us trying to figure out who the best player is. This is us just saying we're seeing what the edit is giving us. Yeah. We're getting the meals, and Christina's edit has been like a Happy Meal toy from McDonald's. You know, there's not a lot. And each time we hear from Christina, it's always contradictory. It's always her saying one thing, and then she does something else in the episode. her like one of her few confessionals this episode is saying, "Hey, I can't vote Steven out. Steven's my ally. We've been playing this whole game with him." All of a sudden, tribal council happens. She votes Steven out, and she's over the moon. She's giddy about this. It makes me wonder, like, why wasn't Christina as loyal to Steven? Because Christina openly admits she doesn't like Savannah, so she knows she's never going to work with Savannah or Rizzo. Because why would Rizzo work with Christina over Savannah? You know, her best shot.
Sorry,
I was going to say her best shot at best was just getting Sophie, who voted out Steven. Like, you know, I understand that there's fears of the idol, but at the same time, if I'm Christina and I know that everyone else is voting Steven, I would still just make that move with Steven. Because at least you're playing a game. You're not just playing everyone else's game. And I'm curious about something. I saw this comment, and you know, the believable thing is that Christina's going to be in the final 3 because she's the GOAT. She's not going to win. But this was an interesting episode for the Trace Leches Alliance. What if Christina goes at 4? What if she goes out of fire? What if the final 3 is just Savannah, Rizzo, Sophie?
it's possible. They have the numbers. They don't need to worry.
They don't.
At this point, even if all of them lose immunity, at this point, if somebody doesn't find that idol at 5, like, it's over.
That's what I'm saying. And then her and Sage voted out Steven because her Sage took. I get the final 3 packed, but at the same time, again, it's like I don't know. I think Christina's edit has just shown to be very weak. She's shown that she's not playing for her best interests, and again, the desperation to make a move should have started, you know, back at the merge.
Yeah.
Just again, like, to me, making a move isn't just a big blindside. It is, you know, strengthening your alliance. It is making an alliance. Like, I thought Sophie B made a move by being able to integrate herself with the Uli alliance. Same with Steven. I thought his moves were getting on board with the bottoms up with Joanne and Sage. Like, those are moves to me. You know, Christina hasn't done legitimately anything shown to us outside of giving Joanne a reward and fighting an idol that was immediately misplayed, you know?
Mhm.
And Jay, I think it probably wasn't shown because no one probably found it. They probably just hit it too hard, or, you know, because I'm sure Savannah, Rizzo, and Sophie at least are looking for the idol, and maybe it gets found next episode for like the start of the episode. And maybe that's the saving grace. Maybe Christina finds it again and idles out Savannah. And then all of a sudden, Christina beats Rizzo at fire making, and all of a sudden Christina wins.
If that happened, I think, yeah, that would be.
Like, honestly, that could happen.
But if that's the case, no, I see.
But if that's the case, she would have a way better edit the entire season. And she wouldn't have 2 back-to-back 0 confessional episodes.
I hear you. Yeah. Well, I think again that's really where I'm at with Christina. I don't understand the move. I don't personally, based on what we've been given. It doesn't seem like that. Doesn't I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
For Christina. Again, she seems like a very lovely person. It's just Survivor loves dunking on someone for a whole season for no payoff. Christina, you are winning the Jamie Award. Congratulations. Remember Jamie from 44? The nicest person ever, did nothing wrong, and got bullied by the edit for the entire season, just constantly laughed at the entire time. It's a rough world out there to be on Survivor.
Isn't it always?
No, not for Sage. Sage, we were rooting for you. All of us were. And you dropped balls today. I don't know. Sage had so much potential, but then you really look at Sage critically throughout the season, and you kind of always expected Sage to not win. I don't think we ever really played around with the idea of Sage winning, and Sage was always just going to be on the bottom end of the list. However, her rise to power and now downfall have been very interesting to watch. It's a case of just paying attention to the narratives and stories, I think, because Sage, she had her win condition laid out. One of those players, kind of like Shaheen as well, where a player says, as long as I can do this, I will win the game. And that's usually a good sign. We saw that with Jam Jam. That is the most primal example I can think of Jam Jam saying, if you vote me, you're out. D also said the same thing. And so Sage had that where, if you piss me off, you got to go. Steven didn't piss Sage off, I don't think. So Sage is now back at the bottom, back at being a bottom feeder. And, as much as I don't think Sage is winning, I still like that roller coaster. Sage had a character arc in Survivor 49, and sometimes you just got to appreciate the character arc. You know what I'm saying? And Sage needs to win immunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But how do you look at Sage?
I'm in the same boat with Sage as I am with Christina. I think voting out Steven, like you had it. You had these numbers, and you should have went through with it. I don't understand. I feel like, again, there's this fear of players not recognizing that if you can't get out someone, you hurt them by taking out their closest ally. You keep taking out their closest ally so that they can't recover from it. And that's why I was just like, put the numbers, like put all the numbers onto somebody. Like, who cares about the idol? Because either way, if you just vote the way you want them to, they're going to win. They're going to win regardless. Then they don't need the idol. And they've just been playing into that every time because they're afraid of the idol. Someone needs to be a casualty. Someone has to be.
Yeah. It's kind of like what Rizzo has been saying, where it's like, yeah, it's a gamble, but it's either I go out now or go out next. So it's like I gotta do something and make a risk to benefit myself. And that is just what Sage isn't doing. Not a single time did they say, hey, let's just try. Because Rizzo's idol holds only work because they're afraid of getting voted out. But once you're at Final 5, and you gotta take the shot. Like, getting voted out at Final 6, that's honorable. I would be happy if I went on Survivor and I got voted out at Final 6. I'd be like, you know what? I'm proud of myself. Final 6 is like that's good. That's good Survivor players. We just glazed half of the Final 6 players. We talked about Julie Berry. You know what I'm saying? It's like everyone either A, they want to win so badly that they need to make it to Final Tribal Council, which, like, yeah, I kind of get. Or B, they just want the stipend and they just want the prize money of making it to Final Tribal Council. Like, it's the players playing both very optimally by the books and just in a straight line. It's I think the problem and why the Hina side. I think Sage is a Hina still, regardless of what's been happening, because I think it was Sage's best interest to ride with Hina. But again, what do I know? I don't know everything, obviously. But Sage just hasn't made the proper moves, and she's just, again, playing way too afraid and way too scared. Mm-hmm. And that is the problem. That is why Sage has been on the bottom of the barrel. And they're giving the game away. But it's not just to Savannah. It's one thing if it was like Savannah was misting everyone and it was like Kim Spradlin kind of thing where, like, or like a D kind of thing where everyone was just loyal. But it's like, it's way more than just that, because everyone knows that Rizzo and Savannah are allies. And they should know that Sophie B is with them. Like, Savannah didn't hide anything by doing the reward challenge. She revealed the pecking order. She revealed the alliance. And so, the gambles that they think they're taking, I don't think they're going to work out. And even if they do, you're still taking an idol to Final Five with an obvious duo. There's still a 50-50 shot that you've messed up when I think the odds were a lot better last round, and this tribal, And that's the kind of heartbreak we get by watching Survivor. I honestly went on a rant. I started ranting to my friend who doesn't watch Survivor, so I had to explain everything. I had to explain the context. I had to explain why this episode mattered. It was rough,
Tough,
but again, as much as I had fun watching Sage, we kind of knew that this was going to be the result anyways. So it kind of works out regardless, I think.
I hear you. That's really it for me with Sage. Sage and Christina fall in that same category. I just don't understand the move. Don't get it.
Yeah. But it's okay, because next up we have a real divisive one. Did Sophie B lose Survivor 49 this episode?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she did. Yes,
Just say yes.
She absolutely did. The move for Sophie to win and deem Sophie as the undisputed winner of Survivor is to flip, take Rizzo's idol, blindside Rizzo, absolutely blindside him. I think that's what needed to happen. Sophie would have made it to Final Four, but Sophie would have had the numbers because Savannah would have been on an island. They still would have had another tribal council and or fire making. But, you have to make a move. You have to. And I think here's from the jury's perspective. The jury knows that Rizzo has an idol. They don't know about the advantage. But now when knowledge is power comes into play and the jury's like, well, there's an idol right there. Why is she playing Rizzo's game? By not taking that idol, you're playing Rizzo's game. You want to make a move? Take the idol. Let the jury watch Rizzo go home. I think Rizzo is a big game player that he would understand that move. And I think you have this knowledge is power. It was built up. It's an advantage that shocks the jury because they haven't seen it in a long time. But this really hurts Sophie's game.
It does.
Takes away every opportunity for Sophie to have full power. And she didn't take it. Because here's the statement. The statement is before tribal council, you take the idol, make a live tribal council and say, his idol is gone. Cast your vote for Rizzo.
Yep.
Cast your vote for Rizzo. Now you don't have to worry about the idol. Cast your vote for Rizzo. I'll flush this tonight. We won't have to worry about an idol.
Even if she held on to it, though, I still think that would have helped out. And it's not also always listen to grandma. It's not that it was an unnecessary big move. Obviously, it was a move that held a lot of risks to it. But I think it would have worked out for Sophie. I think you take Rizzo's idol, everyone dog piles on Rizzo. Because no one wants to take that, again, obvious duo to Final Five, And then Savannah, who does Savannah have? She could go to Steven, but then I don't think Savannah and Steven would work together very long, maybe for a vote. Yes, Savannah would get mad at Sophie B, but Savannah knows it's a game. I think Savannah would understand it's a game. Sophie then makes a move and also pleases the jury. I don't think she never really was going to get Jawan's vote, unless Jawan was just going to vote based off, game merits. I don't think Sophie would have gotten Jawan's vote or, MC's vote. But by doing that, I think you make yourself look palatable to the Hina jurors. I think Jawan would appreciate the big move and the big swipe. And apparently Sophie was the one who told Rizzo to say his idol expires at 6. Wow, Sophie just lost. I still thought Sophie had a chance, but that's rough. That's real rough to
Yeah.
hear.
It was a massive blunder.
Hmm.
Um,
And I still think there's a chance with Sophie. I still think that like everything could work out because maybe Rizzo and Savannah aren't the real big jury threats. Maybe Sophie can sway the whole jury. Maybe Alex is there too. But like, I think if Sophie does win, it is going to be in like that Gabler tier of like, yeah, they won, but how do we get here? And how did that happen despite the pitfalls? Sophie B could be Gabler. That is where we're at right now.
Sophie
And-
has a good story. It's just it's tough. It's tough to really solidify that. I feel like the nail in the coffin could have been with that move if Rizzo went home and Sophie made it to the end. I think Sophie really could have given Savannah a run for her money.
Yeah.
And put Savannah in a position where Savannah needs to win out. And you still have Steven who can compete against Savannah.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, it's the problem is like when you take out someone like Steven, you kind of need the big threats to go after each other. Because when you're puny, it's like, what can you do against Savannah? And she's
Yeah.
going to be Sophie G if that happens. Who I don't get the joke.
I don't get the joke either.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to wrap my brain. And the problem is we're also on a delay, so like Jay is not going to be able to explain until like another minute.
Sophie
Gabe, like, okay. Honestly, it could happen. We've seen crazier things. You know, we have seen crazier, but it's unfortunate because I was really rooting for Sophie. She also, again, she had a very real narrative. She had an arc. People love to tell Sophie things, and Christina told Sophie about Steven's block a vote. I'm curious to see how they will show this. I think what's going to happen is that we will hear about this next episode. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be the finale. You know, it's going to be that opening scene going back from tribal council. And, you know, Sophie's going to be like, Christina told me to block, Christina told me about Steven's block a vote. And, you know, Sophie, again, was kind of, you know, halted by production. I think that was it was unfair for them to bring in an advantage knowing that the knowledge of power is in play and having that advantage not work with knowledge is power. I think if you're going to have knowledge is power in a season, every advantage in Idol should be at risk to knowledge is power. That is the whole point of it being the knowledge is power. Just saying, hey, already been played before tribal, get wrecked, sucker. Maybe have knowledge is power be a passive advantage as well. You can do it at any time in the game too. I think that'd be an interesting change. But no. Sucks seeing Sophie B at second.
Yeah, well, second. Oh, you put Sophie B at second.
Yeah.
So
It's
overall,
rough seeing her at third as well. It's this low.
I mean, you had the winning tool in your pocket at the right time, and that was the right time, right there.
Mm-hmm.
It just went right by.
And she could have played it on Christina. You know, like she could have played it on because she knew about the Christina's.
She should have. That's what I was talking about before. She should have played it on Christina back then when she was gonna flush it. Like, just play it. But like, honestly, when you're weighing that, a knowledge is power every single time needs to be played on an idol. Why would you ever use it on an advantage when the bigger move is to use it on an idol? So you were given both options. You knew Steven had an advantage, and you knew that Rizzo had an idol. The idol is what should have been claimed. I know that you didn't want to go against it, but there was no other move there. There was no other move.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, too, we're still talking about Sophie's winning chances. Isn't that crazy? Like, she had such a colossal episode, a colossal downfall episode, and yet The only saving thing for Sophie could be that a final treble, there was a flashback to her saying that Rizzo did say his idol expires at 6, and that she had sway within the alliance. Again, like that is possible. That is true. And I still like something about it. Something about Savannah's edit feels a little too negative, and I don't really like Rizzo's edit, and I don't think Rizzo has much of a chance, but we'll get to Rizzo in just a moment. And so it's a game of like who's left and who has it worse. Like I think Sophie has it worse than Savannah and Rizzo, but I don't think anyone really has a good edit right now.
Hey,
But what do I know? You want to talk about Riz God now for
let's talk about
Diana?
God. Let's talk about the God. There
My
you go.
little brother's favorite Survivor contestant. We got Riz God, and I
Hey,
have him
Rizzo.
at number 3. Hi, Rizzo.
I'm gonna keep him at 2.
That's fair. That's
The idol.
knowing-
He's got the idol. He made it to 4. Rizzo is the only person we absolutely 1000% positively lock it up, or it's crackpot going to 4. Like he's
Crackpot.
guaranteed fire. He is. Look at him. Look at that smile. He's like, I just made
Megawatt
the Final
smile.
4.
Is it crackpot to say I think Rizzo's making the final 4? Guys, comment down below.
It is crackpot.
Who cares about an edit? It's a coronation. Queen Savannah is going to win. Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
So I want to start by a comment. I saw this comment posted a few times, and a lot of the times too, if I see a comment about a player, I try to remember it and go back to it when we talk about the player. But people don't like Rizzo's tribal antics. Why did it go away? People don't like Rizzo's tribal antics.
They're unnecessary.
You know, they are very unnecessary. And I get your own Survivor, and you want to make that big move, and you want to be a flashy character. And I think we need characters. We need players like you, like Rizzo, people who piss off other players. Rizzo annoys me, you know, and I'm back in Maryland. He's on Fiji. And I think that is a very necessary evil to have on Survivor. I think it makes the game more fun. That's why I like 49 over 48. That said, this is a show about ranking the winners. I don't know how much I really trust Rizzo's winning chances. And there's something Steven said in his post-game interviews. I don't really like to listen to post-game interviews. However, I'm trying to be careful with my wording because I don't want to just regurgitate Reddit. But, you know, people aren't really seeing Rizzo as too strong of a winner or of a contender. You know, Steven has said that they didn't realize how much control Rizzo had over the game while he was on the island. And that could mean a lot of different things. And yeah, Steven did not look happy during his vote out. Steven even said it hurts, and everyone was still smiling and giggling because they were playing Survivor. And I think that's a little depressing. And I still think that Rizzo is going to come out of this final tribal council not looking so hot. That or Rizzo loses fire. I think there's a chance that Rizzo loses fire making on Survivor 49. And I think that would be the brilliant end to his legacy.
Ooh, that would actually be pretty crazy if he did lose fire. But I put Rizzo at second only because I think he's had some bigger moments. There have been some vote outs that they've kind of angled that Rizzo had pushed for specific names. So I think there are some names that he can claim to his resume. Also, the idol play. Him having that idol he's had that idol from his original tribe. Like literally from the original Uli Beach, he found that idol and he somehow made it last till 5. That's really hard to get an idol at the beginning of the game and last till 5. You know,
technically he got it at the merge. To be fair to Rizzo, but that is just because it was a beware advantage at first. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Okay,
I'm doing
you're right,
semantics.
you're right.
Yeah,
It was a beware. You're right. Okay. Yep. But Rizzo's played a really flashy game, but I think the flash is too shiny.
mm-hmm.
Like it's like diamonds. People want them to be real, and like natural. But I think Rizzo is starting to become like the lab grown diamonds. They're starting to check. They're a little less valuable with each time that you kind of flash the idol. The more you flash it, the less its value becomes. And I
Yeah.
think he really dropped the price on that idol. It's not even valuable. It's more just becoming
Yeah.
a performance. And I don't know if they want to reward someone $1 million for performing every tribal.
And again, this is just we're trying to predict the winner opinion here. Okay, my biggest fear is like I go on Twitter and I'll see like a post like, if anyone heard of Survivor Now Stockwatch, these two guys, they're just being shitty about everyone. They're all complaining about every little thing. They are the problem with modern Survivor. Because I think a Rizzo type of character is important. Even though I'm not a big Riz God fan, I'll be the first to admit it. And again, it's bringing a lot. It's just not bringing jury votes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
it's not.
I'm rooting for the downfall. I'm rooting for, the crash and burn. I'm rooting for that. There's something. There has to be a payoff with Rizzo because it's too storybook. It's too perfect. And it reminds me of Carson. The guy who could survive every tribal, the guy who could do it all, can't make fire or can't bring it home. Yeah, there's a lot of debate of whether or not he's like the new Xander, right? Because of what Steven's been saying behind the scenes, and like that is the missing link, is that the reason why no one has been taking out Rizzo is because like he's just not a big threat to anyone's games, and we are just seeing a large part of it. Also, we're not that bad. We love to see it. We will take not that bad. That's what's going on in Survivor Now. But it's I think it's more akin to like a Charlie or to a or to like an Eva situation than a Xander, because Xander was just doing nothing. I think Rizzo is just getting overshadowed because he is the jokester, and the jury doesn't like those kinds of people. I think the last real jokester we really had was Fabio. Don't quote me on that. But that's honestly all I really have to say about Rizzo. It's just a case of there's a missing piece of information, and so I'm trying to. It's the game of, is Rizzo going to have a downfall? Is he really the winner? If he's the winner, why did he get edited the way he did?
Exactly.
But no, lots of interesting things going on with Rizzo. But is it time for Savannah? Is it time for the queen of Survivor 49?
Let's talk about her. Yes.
I was
finally same page. We're here. Look at us. All gold.
It was a coronation.
It is.
This was kind of a quiet episode for Savannah, though, right? Like,
I felt like she talked a lot. I felt like there was a lot of moments in the confessionals, especially about the reward, where she's like starting to think about getting her head in the game. I think that was a confessional that a winner would make, especially at winning and going in the sanctuary.
Yeah, and there's more things too. I think back to the merge where she's like, one of us is winning the $1 million. That is like a classic Survivor little Easter egg. They'll always include it if they can to help a winner out. They did that with D and 45 specifically. I remember there was an episode where like someone's like, D's the winner, and they had it in like subtitles, and everyone was like, this is proof D's winning. That Savannah had that moment. Savannah has those like weird moments. And No, I do agree this was a big moment with the reward. I was just thinking in terms of like the actual strategy and like the tribal council and like the actual vote out. Savannah was pretty quiet in, which I thought was important. Savannah had a secret video for episode 12. I wish they included that into the show because then it would have just been this D 2.0. You know, is Savannah the new D? Kind of, if you think about it.
I kind of feel like Savannah wins a 4th immunity. I really don't see how she becomes vulnerable and nobody votes her out.
Yeah, the competition is not that strong.
I honestly do think Savannah wins final 5 immunity and puts herself in a position where she can't be voted out. Because also Jeff did say, he did make a comment at immunity that, you know, you're only one away from being within an elite group of women, you know, who've won 4 immunities. And I feel like that might be a little foreshadowing. Because I honestly, when you look at it, no one else has won immunity but Savannah. But when they go to the jury, really, you want to sit next to somebody who's won 3 immunities? Yeah.
Honestly, does Savannah break the record?
I think I don't know about Final 4. Final 4 would be crazy, but I think Savannah wins 4.
I think she wins 5.
If she is that the record? That would break the record.
That would break the record. That would break the record for most challenges won by a woman. But the guys also have maxed out at 5 challenges.
Well, no, but 5 is the record for guys.
Yeah, 5 is the overall record.
I mean, like, listen, I'm just saying, when you think about it, let's think about it, people. If Savannah was vulnerable, I really strongly believe Sage, Christina, and Sophie would vote her out. So this tells me that if Savannah is our winner, she has to win 5. Like, there's no way around. She wins 5, which means she's at 4 immunities, which she's going to be up on that list.
Even if she loses,
Rachel got 4, right?
Yeah, Rachel got 4.
Dominant. New era women are dominant.
I kind of liked Rachel being standalone though, because I'm such a big Rachel fan, and I called Rachel winning, and everyone still doubts Rachel as a player, and I don't. I'm the biggest Rachel fan, but I think there's a chance Savannah breaks the record. Just straight up. And
honestly, I think that would seal the deal. Like, if you break a record for immunities on Survivor, like, I mean, we actually have seen people who have won a lot of immunities and just not win the game because people don't respect it. But Savannah, it's always been Savannah versus whoever's the next option.
Yeah, it's always Savannah's been on the bottom, and the only complaint I have is that it was just a little too obvious. It was kind of,
Oh, sorry.
And I was just gonna say it was a little like that was kind of the vibe a lot of people got. I know I had Savannah at number 2, but I don't think Savannah was ever below my top 3, not once in the season.
I think it's hard to rank Savannah lower. Actually, she was low for that one time that she was blindsided at the beginning of the merge. I dropped her to the bottom. I dropped her to the very bottom, but she bounced right back the next episode. She really put herself back in a better position. It looked like nothing happened.
Yeah, that's again. That's why like even when people get blindsided, like I don't care. I don't gaff enough.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, Savannah's been at the lowest, number 5. And that was during the Nate vote. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I had MC and Alex above Savannah. That's rough. Mike Holloway and Brad Culpepper also got 5.
I know Tom and Mike Holloway are 2 winners that have won 5. I don't know how many who have won 5 have gone to win the game. Kim Sprawling's up there. She's one of the winners who hold a record, or at least are tied.
Yeah, no, she had 4.
Yeah, no. So she's. I know Kim's up there with most in their class.
What about Boston Rob?
Yeah, but Boston Rob I believe, has won 5 in one of the seasons, but he didn't win. He didn't win. That wasn't Redemption Island. He didn't win 5.
Yeah.
He didn't
I thought
win
he
5.
still won. Still won
He's
quite a bit.
Boston Rob's won. I think he's won the most immunities out of anybody total, all seasons combined.
Probably.
I think he
won
has.
4.
Yeah. Ozzy
Yeah,
won
he's
5.
only won 4.
Cook Islands. Ozzy's a beast. There's so many people who are like beasts.
Rob has never won 5.
Okay, so then he didn't. That's on me. I thought he did.
But the point is, though, we're talking about like all legends of Survivor, all players who like played very hard. When the weakest player on our list is Brad Culpepper, who I thought still played like a pretty solid game. Like not to the caliber of like Tom Westman or Boston Rob. And, Brad Culpepper was a little abrasive and not like the most rootable guy in Game Changers. He still played a good game. Like he still was a good player for his time in Game Changers. And Savannah is in that caliber. I think even above Brad Culpepper and above Ozzy. I think Ozzy is more apt for Sage.
Oh.
Not really. That's a little too crackpot. Brad also has lots of money. That's another good point. So was he ever going to win?
Probably not. Maybe not. Who knows?
We're also forgetting Joe Anglin, by the way, but we can forget about Joe. He won 5 as well. But no. Yeah, again, there's not much to really say about Savannah. This has just been her game to lose.
Literally.
Especially the last few episodes. They've been looking really, really good for Savannah. So I'm curious I'm excited for the finale. Again, Josh, we'll stay in touch about the Bryson Wen Presents.
Yeah, let me know.
I might be buying 2 tickets.
Oh, let me know.
So
I'll be there.
we'll do.
Like it's game time, but I'll be in touch.
Mm-hmm. But no, I think that's honestly it for us right now. There's not much. We are excited for the finale. After the finale, we're going to be talking about all 18 players. We can revisit some old friends. We can talk about Nate again.
We can talk about Jake. I miss
Remember
Jake.
Matt?
Jake, where's
Jake?
Jake? Snake bite.
We can talk about Jeremiah, who I thought was very robbed of playtime. I really wanted Jeremiah to like crash and burn and like flip out in the merge. We never got that. But no, we will see y'all. I can't do next Friday, by the way.
Oh.
So maybe 2 weeks from now.
Okay. We can take a week. We can take a week to interpret finale, and we'll get a whole.
And then the 26th, we'll be there for y'all.
Sweet.
We'll talk about 50 as well. Peace. Thanks everyone for coming in as well, y'all. We love you all.